Hello, welcome to Talk a Good Game. It's just finished. Spurs 2, West Ham 0. Gonzo, what are you thinking?
Just really disappointed, actually. I think, well, two reasons, really. I think, number one, I started to believe, which makes it feel worse. I mean, at any point in Wolves, I believed that we were going to ever do anything. And, of course, it's Tottenham as well, which just makes it feel 10 times as bad, really. And... yeah, actually, it's funny, isn't it? It's funny, really, because it just feels totally crap. I don't know why. It just feels worse than Wolves, even though we would play better than them. And I thought we were all right, but we started off a lot better. We seemed to be sharper. We seemed to be fitter. We were getting players into the box, which I thought, that's surprising. And I even think the water breaks didn't overly impact us. I was worried, particularly that first one. And yeah, we were still. I don't even want to say hanging in there. We were all right. It's funny actually. It's like, well, look, we'll get to the goals obviously later on, but I do feel fitness got us in the end.
Well, I think part of it's fitness. When did you start to believe? Was it during the game? Was it like during the game you started thinking, oh, hello?
Yeah. Quite early, mate. Quite early, actually, because I just thought we had a bit of something about us. I really did. I thought we were attacking. I thought you could see Jared Bowen from straight up. You thought he is up for this. We often talk about getting Noble involved against Tottenham because Noble understands and he has high intensity in a derby game. There's no doubt that Bowen got it, and I was astounded with his work rate all throughout the game, and I thought, okay, this is really, really good, and I thought, because I thought him and Rice were just absolutely superb, and then they were just head and shoulders, above, but then I thought there was a load of others who were okay, not doing too badly. We didn't have too many bad players today. I thought it was a vast improvement in what we saw against Wolves, and this is not a good Tottenham team. They ain't getting Champions League, this mob. I thought when we were witnessing the ghost of Dele Alli, really, where's that fantastic player that we've seen, 2 or 3 years ago. And aside from the goal, I thought we kept Son quiet, who is such a fantastic player. Kane was limited to a few little bits. I think during the game, certainly during the first half, I started to believe we could maybe nick a 1-0 win, silly me.
I was really happy with the first half, to be honest with you. At half time, I thought this is brilliant. I thought the lads were all giving 100%. I thought there was a couple of players not up to scratch in terms of performances, but I think they were still trying. I think they were still putting the effort in. I thought we were organised. I thought we were defending well. I thought when we went forward, I thought we were judging how many people to put forward correctly. Often Fredericks would get forward, but not all the time. Sometimes we would hold back. I thought, this is good. We're organised. Work rate. Everything we were missing from Saturday. I thought Bowen and Fornals were linking up really well together, despite being 50 yards apart. Whenever they were both able to cut in, they both did cut in at the same time, so that they were a lot shorter. And I thought, okay, there's something here. But Noble was a bit of a funny one. He was working hard, but I don't know why he plays in this number 10 role. He always does it when there's 3 in midfield. I don't really get it. He was he was stringing the passes about for the first 6 minutes of the game, and then he just started misplacing a lot of them. And to be honest with you, he just got tired. It wasn't even half time, and he was already tired. But so at half time, I was really happy, Gonzo. He offered me that performance. I'd bit your hand off for it. But here's the problem: you then look at the manager and say, "Go on and do something." The lads have done it. The lads have done what you've asked. Help them out. But I'll get on to that in a second. I'm going to try not swear and rant and all that tonight. I'm going to try. But they thought they had it 1-0. Goal correctly ruled out for VAR for Son. Now at half time, the 63rd minute though, 1-0 own goal from Solchek. Corner come in, comes off Sanchez's head and or arm, and goes in. Unlucky.
Yeah. I mean, I thought we'd put enough pressure. I thought our centre halves put enough pressure. It was Sanchez. You say I thought they put enough pressure on him so as he couldn't get as much purchase on the header. So I thought it was quite a weak header. So actually, did we win the header? No, but I thought we made it so as he couldn't get a direct one or get much power in it anyway. A bit of dark arts there, if you like. Yeah, I mean there's no way you're going to be able to sort your feet out. Like that. It's just, I think particularly someone that tall as well. It's an unlucky rebound. I felt at that point it had almost a whiff of Liverpool about it. I thought that was really, really unlucky. But it was sort of set up because it was, as you say, 63rd, 64th
Yeah.
minute. I thought, well, okay, this is bang on when Moyes is going to do his substitution anyway. So now it's time to react. Let's react now. And I like yourself, I wrote on the forum on the match thread about Noble being in that position, which was just weird when we have other players that can play number 10, 3 or 4 of them, in fact, and he stays there and just think, okay, like yourself, do something now, do something. And it had to be done then because I don't know if you noticed, Mikel Antonio's been systematically fouled. The same foul. 3 separate players with their studs raked down his right Achilles. 3 of them. I thought, whoa, hold on a second. This is a little bit. By the time Dyer had done it, the second one, they didn't really focus on it. Well, hold on a second. That's what Sanchez had just done that, and then by the time Sissoko did it as well, I thought, hold on, this is getting a bit. So he was. I could see with Antonio. Number one, he was knackered, and number two, he was being almost bullied out the game or fouled out the game. I thought, if something doesn't happen now, we're just not going to have the puff to do it. And then, sorry, I know I'm going on a bit here. Just the set pieces was so frustrating. Anytime we sort of managed to get anywhere, actually we did have one which was a free kick. The corners, that was so poor, and it's just so frustrating, Joe, because there were some good things that happened today, but we lacked the application and the direction to put anything decent tactically into practice and respond. We couldn't respond.
It's the manager. It's David Moyes' fault. At half-time, Noble was on his arse. Noble was gone by half-time. It's the perfect opportunity to get a sub. You're taking off a guy. He's on a booking anyway, so he's already a bit of a liability out there, but he's playing in the number 10 role. It's the easiest position to swap because his defensive duties is minimal in comparison to Souček and Rice. And he's got Anderson, Lanzini and Wilshere all sitting there that can go on and play that role. It's an easy sub to make because if you change a wide midfielder, he's got to do the tracking back and stuff. And now the number 10 guy, well, he's got to come back. It's not that vital. It's the least, apart from the striker, it's the least defensive role on the park. It's the easiest substitution in the world to make. And to be honest with you, it's the most obvious one. Now, this is actually Martin Noble's fault as well. Martin Noble should have went in at half-time and said to Moyes, Gaffer, I need to come off. I'm blowing out my arse out there. I've given you 100%. But this is 145 minutes, 135 minutes in 4 days. I can't do it anymore. Look, you need to take me off and get someone else on. You've got 3 players there who are all fantastic players who haven't played that much. Some of them didn't even play on Saturday. Get one of them on. So it's Noble's fault as well. But Moyes should have been doing that substitution, but he didn't. But even within 5 minutes into the second half, you could see Noble still struggling. Antonio started struggling. Bowen was starting to struggle. Our players were on their arse before they scored. Dele Alli's coming off, and on comes whoever it is, Bergwijn or whatever he took on. And you thought, oh, here we go again. It's the exact same thing from Saturday. And our manager had the audacity before the games to stand there with his chest out and talk about how substitutions are important. Like the geezers, he's deluded. He's lost the plot. He's gone on as if he's some sort of magician with substitutions. The guy can't even do. There's players lying on the floor in front of him, and he still can't think, I better substitute that guy. What has to happen for Moyes to substitute someone? Do they literally need to break their leg or something? It's baffling that he's not done these substitutions. Has a lack of substitutions contribute to their first goal? No, it's just unlucky. There's a debate about handball or not. It's not evident enough to rule it. I don't think it should be ruled out. I think it's as lucky to be given as Declan Rice at Sheffield United is unlucky to be given in the sense that they did rule that out. It's so minimal, but it's just unlucky. So is there a correlation? No. But there is to an extent.
The second goal,
yeah, but also the first goal, those Spurs were just getting on top. They were cranking up the pressure, and our players, they couldn't cope with it. They were knackered. They had given 100%. They were struggling out there. And this is where you've got to turn to your manager, or the manager has to turn to his players and say, don't worry, you've done what I've asked. Off you come. You're going to play the next game. You've gone out. You've done your job. You're tired. It's not the end of the world. Moyes has to protect his players. He has to change it. And he only done 2 subs out of 5. What's going on? We're 2-0 down. What's Jetty got to do? What's the point of having him on the bench? Silva, at the end of the game, he's not doing anything. His substitutions he is doing. He's bringing on 2 people who've let him down thus far already. Try something different. It's the same old. And the worst thing is we could all see it coming again. It's the same thing as Saturday. Everybody, and I mean literally every West Ham fan sat there thinking, please change something, Moyes. Your players need help. He's let the players down tonight. He has. And the worst thing is, I was getting ready to come on and praise Moyes because I thought he got the formation right.
Yeah,
I thought the tactics in the first half were right. Although the Noble thing I wasn't keen on. Generally speaking, he got it right. And had he done the right subs, I think we could have gone on to win that game and he would have got all the credit in the world. But he didn't. Instead of winning it, he lost us the game by not doing anything, by sitting there once again watching our team struggle. He's causing us to... What more can those players do? They're giving 100%. Saturday they weren't, so the players were too much to blame on Saturday because they did not give 100%. But tonight, I'm sorry, but those players ran themselves into game. They perhaps weren't good enough. They made silly decisions and stuff. Antonio's the second goal. Antonio is largely at fault for. But
I think that's fatigue. He almost didn't have the power in his legs to make the pass. It's just a sloppy.
Someone shouted on him.
It's not lazy because you can't call him lazy because he's worked his arse off. I just think by that point he just didn't. They were trying to do a little triangle and you see Souček was even a little bit knackered and it was just a lazy little flick.
Souček screamed at him. I'm watching on Premier League, by the way, so I don't have that crowd noise because I actually like hearing what you can sometimes hear what the players are saying to each other. And on the replay of the Antonio giving away, you can hear, I think it is Souček, you can hear someone scream, man on, but he's just done. He's completely done. It's not just physically, he's mentally done as well. You can see he's drained. You can see some of the players when they're dealing with stuff and the camera's on them. Jared Bowen often, when it went on him, you could just see his face thinking, what more can I do here? I'm running myself into the ground. We're probably the only team that's not scored a goal since we've come back from the break as well now. Nothing's boding well. But we've got a manager. That's not a good Spurs team. They've got fantastic players, but they didn't play well tonight at the Spurs. They were there for the taking. Wolves would have beat them. Easily.
Well, Moyes has never beaten Mourinho. I found out before the game.
Was that sorry?
Moyes has never beaten Mourinho.
Well, does it surprise me? At West Ham, Moyes hasn't beaten hardly anyone.
No, but Everton, Man U, whatever. He's never beaten Mourinho.
It's just... I'm fed up. I'm fed up with him. He's just... The worst thing is, Gonzo, we can all see. It's like the Pellegrini and Roberto thing. We can all see what is happening. So why is a professional Premier League manager not able to see it? And if he does see it, why is he doing nothing about it? He's literally just letting it happen. And the worst thing is, the way he's giving it all this... Yesterday, he got all defensive about his sub. He really didn't like being questioned about substitutions. And before the game today, he's going on about how they're important. Yeah, he's sitting there doing nothing. He's honestly, if I was Jared Bowen tonight, I'd be wringing David Moyes' neck. I'd be thinking, what on earth have you just done? I'm out there giving 100%, doing my best. I've got a striker to aim for, who's on his arse. What am I meant to do?
Yeah, I thought about Bowen today. Actually, I looked at. I thought you signed for the wrong club, mate.
Well, there's a reason he put a £25 million release clause in his contract. He wouldn't sign unless he had that because he wants out if we go down, and I don't blame him.
No, I wouldn't blame him at all. I mean, it's an absolutely bizarre one actually because the thing is, Moyes clearly loves football. He clearly wants to be a football manager. I think when he says he lives and breathes football, I believe it. I think he loves the day-to-day stuff.
Gonzo, you live and breathe football. This
will be his last job. Sorry, mate. What?
You live and breathe football. I wouldn't let you manage West Ham. But to be fair, if it was between you and Moyes, I think I might consider it actually.
Oh, yeah, there you go. I would have dealt with a number 10 situation. I certainly would have done that. But it's a strange one because he loves it. But if he fails here, he will never get another job again. And he seems to be doing everything.
He didn't get a job since
his last. He
didn't get a job since the last time he was here. No one wanted him then.
Oh yeah, you're right. He might get a third stint at West Ham actually. To be fair,
but it's just honestly, it's just such a mess. But their second goal is just down to A, the players just giving up a little bit, but B, the players were just knackered. I mean, you can look at Balbuena and say, what were you doing? How's Kane in the middle of you both? And he's got a run in and goal. Why is Souček or Antonio not chop someone down immediately? As soon as that ball was lost, someone should have been bang in there and took the yellow card. I think they're just too tired. I don't think he even had enough energy to take someone out. But this is where Moyes has to help him. Moyes has to help Antonio and say, off the park, it's 0-0. I wish I could keep you on because I'm not confident in this guy scoring, but at least he's going to move about in the box. It's just... He's pissed me off again, Gonzo. I've done what I've not swore tonight, and I was trying not to have a rant because I expected it. Do you know how much I expected this? We both predicted 2-0 because we saw this coming a mile away. We do a charity bet with Betway every week. It just won 10-1. Why? Because we saw this coming. Tottenham to win, under 2.5 goals. Tottenham to have 5 or more corners, and West Ham to have 2 bookings or more. Easy win. It's 5 day matches, £1,000 for charity. Fantastic win. But the point is, it was so easy. It was such an easy thing to predict. Because we could all see it. Mourinho again. Nuno was laughing his arse off on Saturday. Tonight, Jose Mourinho's in his office laughing his arse off. And they're not laughing at West Ham. They're not laughing at the players. They're laughing at David Moyes. They're thinking, he is useless. He is genuinely useless. The bloke made 2 subs. 2. What's he doing? I don't get it. I don't get it. What's the point of having a Jetty on the bench? A Jetty must be looking at him thinking, why am I here? You clearly don't want me here. What's the point? When Moyes does come...
demoralising. I don't blame him for not bringing a Jetty on per se, but Silva, somebody. But if you know you're never going to come on, what's the point? To be fair,
with 20 minutes ago, I was hoping he was going to take Antonio off and move Bowen up front because Bowen was starting to tire a bit. And I thought, let's get him out of a position where he has to do all this running. Get him up front so he can have a little bit of a rest and put someone on in place of Bowen to do the running around. But he didn't. He let Bowen die on his arse as well.
Yeah, I mean, everything you say is right, but I also think that the teams he selects are not good. I know you've got the particular bee in your bonnet about the substitutions, and you're right in everything you say, but the midfield, the composition of the midfield is still not adequate. It's really not. We still have a real inability to pass the ball correctly, and You mentioned about that Wilshere. I saw Wilshere warming up next to a Jetty, and I thought, you're not playing, mate. You're not playing this season. He could have, even once the game was gone. He was bemoaning the lack of Wilshere having any game time. Well, you know what? There was 5 minutes extra time, and it was 85 minutes. And go and give him 10 minutes. Give him 10 minutes. Get him on there. Just see what he can do. All right, the game's gone. We understand it. Everyone's knackered, but go and do something. No, I'll tell you what. It won't be the last time you see. In fact, I think from the majority of the games, you will see Rice, Souček, and Noble as a 3 there, basically. And it ain't good enough. I'm sorry, it's just not up to the standard Premier League, particularly when you look at the sort of players that other teams. You said about that De Sol. So now, don't get me wrong. I thought Declan Rice. We're watching. Well, we're waving goodbye to Declan Rice. A Declan Rice parade as he moves on to another club. Enjoy the last few games. Best player on the football pitch today, Declan Rice. By the way, right?
Even he gave up for the last 5-10 minutes.
Well,
I don't blame him. I'm not blaming Declan Rice. I'd give up as well.
He gave up, but I thought he was absolutely sensational. But you know, you've got De Sol, and you've got people like every single club seems to have some of these players. I mean, I noticed it wasn't the best game in the world, but I noticed Maddison was playing early. You saw Phil Foden. I know these are magical players, but even the lesser teams, you talk about McGinn, you just talk about Grealish, you look at these players. I don't think Bournemouth I think Bournemouth may be a bit functional in central midfield, but in the majority, people have some midfielders that have something about them, and our midfield is not good enough. I'm telling you that now. It really isn't. And the thing
we could have a Grealish. It wouldn't make a difference with this dinosaur in charge.
No, he wouldn't play him. No, you're right. There's no way he'd pick Jack Grealish.
We've got Fornals there. Put Fornals in centre midfielder. If you need someone that can spread the ball around, put him in there. Drop him back where he's not exposed for lack of pace like he was tonight. Again, this is something that was clearly obvious. The guy took a booking within 20 minutes of the game because it was obvious he was not going to be able to match Aurier. So we put a guy up there who's just going to struggle from the get-go. He was practically a second left back tonight for Fornals. Every time they had the ball, Creswell was actually next to Balbuena, and Fornals was next to Creswell, and I thought, even the commentator said Aurier's basically playing right wing.
Yes, he did, and I funny enough, there was one point I thought, are we playing 3 at the back? Because it almost looked like Creswell was tucked in as a third centre back, and you're right, and Fornals was back there. But yeah, listen, regardless, I think that is the central midfield 3 pretty much for the remainder of the season. Will it be good enough?
No, it won't be.
No. It's just not right. It's just not functioning. It doesn't function as a midfield.
Anyway, individual players.
Well, as you say, I thought Rice was the best player on the football pitch, and I was really impressed with Bowen. Really impressed. Just thought he tried so hard. He worked his socks off, and we saw some real bits of quality. Crikey, he almost scored and really had no right to. And then there was a little group of players who I thought just played well. Who had good, steady Eddie performances. That was Cresswell, Antonio, Diop, and Fabianski. And and I think with that, 5 or 6 players playing well, is why we did reasonably well. And I think, as you say, everybody else was sort of working hard, weren't they? So there is stuff to take from it, but it's hard to be inspired.
I think there's a few positives for tonight. I thought Fabianski didn't do anything wrong. I thought, but until Harry Kane's goal, I thought Balbuena was playing well for somebody who's come in under sort of a grey cloud, if you like. I thought he was playing well. He was blocking a lot and clearing a lot. It was a bit no nonsense at times, but when you're down the bottom, I'll take a no nonsense defender. I've seen other teams since lockdown doing all this passy stuff at the back, and it's costing them. I'm all for a no nonsense at times. But Diop was playing well next to him. Fredrickson was giving me the fear, to be honest with you. Every time Spurs come down that side, I was practically behind my sofa waiting for something to happen. At one point, he was about 5 yards behind. Son got played through. I think Son ran between Balbuena and Diop, and he was onside. I thought offside and kept going. And what's the replay? And Fredericks was 5 yards behind everyone else. I thought, why are you there? It's not even your man. Why are you standing there? He's so fast, but his pace is what gets him out of jail a lot. If he was slow,
well, he's got no football brain, and he doesn't really have any technique.
Reading of the game is horrible. I thought Declan Rice was superb. Just that pass to Antonio, the long ball with his left foot as well. I just thought, we shouldn't be needing our defensive midfielder to be our most creative player on the park, but it was our best chance created in open play without a bit of luck like Bowen's was. It was a bit of a paintball for Bowen's chance. Rice's was just beautiful. A more composed striker, that's on target at least. I thought Souček's
or someone that's not that tired.
Yeah, Souček's just
he was cream crackered by the time he got there, Antonio. Because he's worked so hard.
Souček's 50-50. He's not impressed me since we've come back from the lockdown, Gonzo. I'm a bit concerned, actually. I thought he was sort of the best thing since sliced bread when we first saw him, but since he's come back, I'm trying to question how much is it down to tactics, how much is it down, but even when we're on the ball, he's not really offering enough for me. I thought Noble looked good for 5 minutes and then he was tired and then struggled after that. But he took a booking for the team at one point. We need to see more of that. The Spurs were breaking. He just held onto the guy's shoulder to say, I'm not going to slide in. I'm not going to take you out. There's no question of a red card here. I'm just going to pull you down. Yellow card, that's fine. Let my team get back sorted. If we had done that for their second goal, they scored in I didn't write time, 80-something minute, early on in the 8th, that 10 minutes period. It would have still been 1-0 for that last 10 minutes and we've been at it. Bowen I thought was magnificent. I really like him. I really do. Fornals, what can you do when you're up against Ollie and you're pinned back all the time? He had good spells, but he fluffed that chance. We speak before the game. We said we're going to get one chance. Maybe we'll be lucky to get one chance, and it come to him. Antonio, they were all on the right hand side, weren't they? Antonio, Noble, Fredericks, Souček. I think they were all over there. Bowen then somehow got cut back to Fornals, and he just completely I don't know what he's done. He's completely fluffed it. Antonio, he's not a striker. Put himself about, won some free kicks, worked hard, but he should have been subbed. But I don't know. Can I get your final words, Gonzo, please?
Yeah, just until we sort out that Haller coming back will help. There's no doubt about it. And particularly if he pairs Antonio with him up front, then we might have something else going on. It will help a couple of the players, but a lot of the time, particularly when we go and play Leicester, for instance, I only say that because I like Leicester, because when we did our review earlier on in the season, because if you're playing with a midfield three, they have the perfect combination of three. So you've got Ndidi, you've got your stopper, you've got your playmaker in Tielemans, and then you've got your jinky player, your twisty turn, someone with an eye for goal and whatnot in Maddison. That's the perfect composition of the three. So you've got everything. You've got you know what I mean. You've got someone that can read the game. You've got someone athletic. It's all covered. All the bases are covered there. Unfortunately, and I know you can't call Noble a defensive midfielder, but a lot of it, we have the same type of player. Basically, there's no real blends there. We have basically single-paced players who don't really offer any goal threat. Three of them. And I think Souček would be a good player if he was playing in a midfield with that blend. But I think if you put him alongside players with comparable speed, taking up similar positions, yes, I know Noble was playing a little bit further forward, but it's not Noble's position. Doesn't naturally drift into those. There was a little bit of play where he tried to do a little 1-2 with Bowen on the right, and something was made out of it. But even Bowen was surprised to see the pass come back from Noble and stuff like that. I just feel there's just no blend. There's no creativity. It's almost as if we're just trying to stifle the other midfield. But for years, 4 years later, Gio, where's our athlete in the middle? Where's the guy that's going to do the running?
He's away to Leicester. Leicester want William Cavallo. He's away there.
Yeah, well, okay. Well,
took a few years, but yeah,
we don't. It's unless we can sort that out, we are going to have trouble. Yeah, the Fredericks thing is a major worry. You can see why. Obviously, Moyes was playing, and Gaki are there. It's a major worry. It's a major worry. But as I said after the Wolves game, I still think Moyes will see enough in that performance.
He's going to be delighted tonight, Gonzo. He'll be buzzing after that. We had some shots at goal. We kept them out for a little while. It took an own goal for him to break the deadlock. Moyes is going to be well happy. We're going to stay up after a 2-0 loss. But before I get my final thoughts, if you enjoy this video, drop a like on it and subscribe when you're around hearing that. But my final thoughts, Gonzo, this is the last opportunity to sack the manager. I'm not saying he should be sacked, but the board have to think about this because we've got a week till our next game, and then when we come back, we play every 3 or 4 days, and that's it until the end of the season. This is our last chance. If you roll the dice, this is your last chance. If he got sacked tonight, I'd be happy. I would be, because I'd have a little bit of, we can do this. I saw enough out there to suggest their heads are still in this. The boys are still, they've still got a bit of belief. But I'll tell you something, I could not play, anyone that's played football know what I'm talking about, I could not play under a manager like that. A manager that allows your team to suffer. A manager that watches your players struggling and doesn't do anything. He needs to help them out. He needs to do something. When you get told it's Sunday league stuff, go out there, give 100%. If you're tired, it's fine. I'll sub you. It's all right. And it's almost like we're doing that, but the managers go, well, I don't want to sub you though. Because I'll tell you why, he's too chicken. Moyes is too chicken to take off Antonio in case he puts on a jetty and he's not very good. Because then he's made a bad sub. Well, actually, it's bad not doing a sub. Instead of trying to make a good one, he's too scared to make a bad one in case it blows up in his face. But it's blowing up in his face and our faces because he's not trying anything. I actually, like I said, I think he got the formation bang on tonight. The 4-3-3. It was working. Bowen in his right position was looking good. But when it come to the pivotal point, which was at half-time, just after half-time, he did nothing. He sat on his hands and did nothing. Went 1-0, then he starts doing changes. And he's doing like-for-like changes again. He's not... To be fair, I don't think he had to change formation as such. But on the hour mark, the opposition manager sussed you out by then. He knows what you're doing. He knows you're playing 4-3-3 by this point. If you're succeeding in any area, he's had half-time, especially someone like Mourinho. He's gone in at half-time and he's sorted it out. He said, stop that guy on that side, please. Like you said about Antonio getting fouled. He might have gone in at half-time and said, can someone start kicking him a bit more?
Yeah.
Please. And they've come out and said, yeah, no problem, Gaffer. Crunch. There you go. Free kick. He's hurt. Moyes needs to... He needs to seriously step up because that faith the players have, that effort the players have is going to fade eventually. And we've got winnable games of fixtures coming up on paper. And if the heads are dropped by then, we're doomed. We are doomed. But I don't know. I saw some positives tonight, Gonzo, and I'm going to cling from them. When I wake up tomorrow and go to work and stuff, I'm going to cling to the positivities. But right now, that manager just overshadows everything for me because he is shackling what is good at this club. And it's not much, but he is... Listen, would you jump off a boat with an anchor around your ankle? No, because you'll drown. Well, David Moyes is our bloody anchor at the minute. And it's sink or swim. And the only way to swim is either get rid of it, basically.
Well, the trouble is, Joe, you remember, David Moyes only got a job. They did try for other managers. But unfortunately, the board have created such a reputation for himself that no one wants to go and work there. David Moyes is the only person who'd take that job. It's as simple as that. And, it's the only job he could get. and it's the only manager that the board get to work from. That's it.
I would take Nolan. I would genuinely take Nolan right now. If Nolan was in charge, I'd say that's fine. That's fine.
What, do you see Neil Warnock got a job today? Would you take Neil Warnock over Moyes?
I would take anyone. Gonzo, I'm not joking. Chris Akabusi's in the chat now. I would take Chris Akabusi. I'm not joking. I would take anyone right now because I am desperate.
And never mind, that's your athlete in the middle.
Yeah, well,
I'll see we need someone
he'll run about a bit more, won't he? But he's Mr. Motivation or whatever, Chris Akabusi. We need some of that in there for David Moyes, not for the players, because the players were motivated tonight. It's our manager that needs someone in his ear saying Kevin Nolan should be running around circles on David Moyes' feet after 45 minutes in sub, and he almost makes him do one just to shut him up. I don't know. Anyway, have you got anything else to say or we'll disappear?
No, not really, mate. It just feels crap because it's Tottenham. It's Tottenham. There we go. Just have to wait and see what happens, mate. Look, I don't think we're doomed. I don't think we're going down. Definitely, I really don't. I don't think Moyes definitely takes us down. I really don't. I'm not saying I've got much. Right,
we'll do a cup of tea. We'll do a cup of tea later this week, and we'll talk about that because I was 50-50 before the Wolves game. Since then, we've lost 2 games, and the manager's been at fault for both games. It's only going to push me in one direction, isn't it? And it is pushing me in one direction. Massive game tomorrow night now. Newcastle against Villa. That's huge for West Ham. Bournemouth play someone. It's a tough game anyway. They've only got tough games. They play like Barcelona every game for the rest of the season. But Villa up at St James's Park, we've just handed Aston Villa all the motivation we need. It's there on a plate now. There you go. Dean Smith just walk in the change room tomorrow and smack that on the board. Spurs 2, West Ham 0. There you go, boys. You beat that result, you're out the relegation zone. Simple as that. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this video, drop a like on it. Subscribe you around here. We'll try and do a cup of tea later this week because we've got 8 days till the next game now. So we've got a little period where we can do a cup of tea. Cheers for joining us. Catch you in a bit.